Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Darkona, Director of Solutions at Premier Construction Solutions. Today I'm coming to you from inside of a warehouse. The warehouse is about a half-mile long, brand new in Central Jersey. The warehouse has just been completed and the ownership from the developer has gone to the new owner that's going to be moving in a couple of weeks. So we're just doing the final touches on this warehouse on behalf of the owner, not on behalf of the developer. One of the things that we're doing, because it's specific to the ownership, is putting down the paint, the stripes inside the warehouse. If you've ever been to a Home Depot or a Lowe's or Walmart, sometimes you see markings on the ground. But in industrial warehouses where you have forklifts and a lot of the supplies and stuff on pallets, it's very, very important to have these lines put down. The lines not only tell you where the product goes, but line also tells you where you are supposed to walk in this warehouse so you don't have any accidents per se. These are called egress lines where you're supposed to walk, and they're very specific in every town of how you're supposed to put them down. But long story short, it's a safety thing, and lines are put down to make sure that pedestrians and forklifts don't cross. Forklifts stop in the right spot, pedestrians stop before they proceed. So the first part is the lines, and then all the other implements that go above them, whether it's railings, whether it's the racks that hold the pallets, all that comes in right after we're done with this. And we're expected to, we just started the job today. This is Tuesday, started at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're expecting to finish this entire thing by Friday. Just want to let you know, this is a 2-part epoxy. The 2-part epoxy comes in 5-gallon buckets. We mix them together into a 10-gallon bucket, and we have 45 minutes to get that epoxy paint on the ground before it starts its curing process. The curing process could take upwards of 6 hours, and ideally, you want to have a ground temperature of 60 degrees. So being in a warehouse, this concrete floor is actually sitting on virgin soil, so we're mindful of the outside temperature. Even though inside in a warehouse the ambient temperature is about 55 degrees, it's not going to get this place warm enough where this ground, where the floor is going to be super hot. But it'll keep it warm enough for us to put the epoxy down. Epoxy technically could go down to as low as 25 degrees per what the manufacturer tells us. But ideally, if you're looking at a situation where it's 90 degrees, the epoxy will cure much faster than it would at 25 degrees. So right now we did a test of the floor temperature. The floor is about 61 degrees. The outside temperature is about 35 degrees. We're in December, but yet we're still able to work indoors and get this work done. Like I said, it's a 2-part epoxy, but we're using an airless system. So because we're using an airless system, we're not going to get this epoxy material, small particulates, to be in the air. And because we're using an airless system, we don't need to have the protection on our face that you would need with a non-airless system. So as you can see over here, and as I'm going to walk over, you can see the epoxy lines going down. We have a laser that's guiding us, and if you look real close right here, these are chalk lines. So that's how we know where to start, where to stop. So in this warehouse that's a half-mile long and about 500 feet wide, we literally spent an entire day yesterday putting down these chalk lines from one end to the other. And now all we have to do is hop on the machine and just paint the lines. Wait about 6 hours and we'll come back and then we'll paint the lines that go this way. Sometimes it'll take a little bit longer. So when you're working with epoxy, when you're doing a job of this caliber, when you're putting down 100,000 linear feet of lines, sometimes you have crews that are going to be working late into the evening or overnight. Happens quite often. But wanted to just show you this kind of project and the stuff that we're capable of doing. Once again, I'm Darkona, Premier Construction Solutions, and this is Premier Spotlight.